Okay, here is the proper setup, the best setup to use your Dave Pelz putter track. Dave Pelz putter track is awesome. It's got this mirror here that you can see if your eyes are over the golf ball or if you're moving your head around. It's also got these, you can make it more narrow. You can bring the rails in, so it makes it more restrictive in terms of straight back, straight through on your putter. On each side, you can bring this side in also, and kind of as you get better and better, you just give yourself less room. But for today, we're just going to pull these all the way out to the far ends. And the other thing is, it comes with these hash marks on here, but the hash marks aren't labeled. And what you come to find out is each of these hash marks are 2 inches apart. So it's extremely important to know how far back you're taking it, how far back you're taking the putter face, and how far through you're accelerating through the putt. So I would recommend either getting a Sharpie or something and labeling these. Each of these hashes is 2 inches apart, and so you can label them 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. The ball starts here in between these two arrows. Your putter face kind of starts here. So the toes lined up with this hash out here on the toe, the heel's lined up with this hash out here on the heel. So when you go back, you're going back 2 inches, or you're going back 4 or 6 or 8. So I labeled these on both sides. You can either do this with a Sharpie, or you can use a label maker, which is what I used. And then with the ball being here, this is 2 inches past the ball, 4 inches, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 6 inches, 16 inches past the ball. So you always want to go a little bit farther through than you do back. So let's say you're going back, you're going to take this putter back 6 inches. You're going to accelerate through to about 10 or 12 inches on the way through. So we'll cover that also, but this is the best setup for your Dave Pelz putter track. We're going to lay this down. The best way to use this is actually at home, not on a practice putting green. You can use it on a practice putting green. The thing to remember is we're trying to groove a perfect stroke. Now, whether the ball goes in, there's 100 things that can make this ball go offline, and you don't want to be frustrated and start adjusting your perfect stroke to adjust for something on the green that's an imperfection that really doesn't have anything to do with your stroke. The other thing is, we're going to get this alignment stick on here. We have a teacher pointer that we also need. We're also got a couple books here. So I'll show you, we're going to get this alignment stick on here correctly. So with this toe straight up and down, and you want to use a putter that's toe heel balanced. You want to make sure that when you're holding it just like this with very little friction, this face of the putter points straight up. You don't want to use a putter that's toe heavy. You want one that's it's called face balanced when it points straight up, or toe heel balanced. You can see that the toe and the heel are balanced, so the toe weighs about the same as the heel. So this putter face points straight up. With this putter face straight up and down, we're going to come right to what's called the bottom spine of this putter. So here's, with the putter face straight up, here's the top spine, here's the bottom spine. We're going to go to the bottom, the bottom spine of this putter grip, and then we're going to get multi-purpose tape. We need about 3 pieces here. We're going to get the first piece that's about 8 to 10 inches long. We're going to get another piece that's about 8 to 10 inches long, and we get a third piece that's about 8 inches long, and we'll put that off to the side. Now we get our alignment stick, put it on the bottom spine of the club. We're going to get this, tape the first one, and we're going to secure it down here, kind of at an angle. We're going to kind of barber pull it up here at a little bit of an angle, so you can see it kind of wraps up the grip. And we're going to do the same thing down here, get this right at the bottom spine, and we're going to secure it up here too at an angle and get it on there nice and tight. Okay, now our alignment stick is secure on the bottom spine of the club. As you know, this makes sure that we don't push with the right hand. The other thing is, we need to get this, now we're going to get this teacher pointer onto the putter. And the way the teacher putter works is, this pointer fits onto this base, and the base plate fits onto the putter face. And now that lets us know which way the putter face is pointed as we're putting. Problem with the couple of problems with this teacher pointer is, it comes with double-sided tape, but the double-sided tape wears off, and so this tends to fall off the putter face. And then the other thing is, that's the other problem with it, is that this tends to fall off the pointer holder. So what we're going to do is, we're going to take a small piece of this tape, And we're going to tape this pointer right onto the base holder. So now the pointer is secure and it can't come off the base holder. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to make this a couple thin strips. So we're going to take another one and we'll put these thin strips on here. We'll just hold this here in case we need it later. We're going to get this base plate right over. We're going to line it up just so it's right over the sweet spot of the putter. And then we're going to take one of these strips and we're going to put it over the toe end of this teacher pointer. We're going to secure it down there and we're going to secure it as well as we can back here. Good. Okay, that one holds it tight there. We're going to take another one here for the heel and we're going to kind of thread it in here. And now we're going to secure the heel part of the teacher pointer right onto this putter. We're going to bring it on here tight. There we go. Okay, so now the teacher pointer is on here tight, and now this isn't gonna pop off the putter. The other thing we need now is we're going to take two fairly heavy books and we're going to angle them here, one here, and one here. Now remember, the best way to use this is at home so that you don't go chasing the golf balls that you're practicing putting with. You line up these books so that way when you hit this putt, it hits the golf ball back at you. Okay, so that's the setup for the putter track. Now let's get into our putting posture setup and how to use the putter track. Okay, so here's the setup from behind down the line. We're trying to make sure that our shoulders, or our kind of shoulder section of our body connects to the spine, is that part of the spine can turn vertically or perpendicular to the ground. We don't want to be standing up so tall that our shoulders are turning around us. We want to bend over enough so the shoulders are turning on this vertical plane. So what we're going to do is we got about 12 to 14 inches in between the insides of the two ankles. We're going to have the ball, and I'll show you from face on. The ball is a couple inches just inside my left foot, inside my left inside ankle. I'm going to have both, for me, it seems like both toes are about maybe a couple inches away from the inside rail of this putter track. And we're going to have my left foot perpendicular to my toe line. My right foot is only not turned out a ton, but turned out just about 2 or 3 degrees out to the right. The reason we turn the right foot out just slightly is because it helps drop my right hip back and my right shoulder back. Because usually golfers have a tendency, when you're looking at the hole to check your line, when you're looking, everything starts to turn to the left. So we're going to keep this right shoulder and this right hip back. From there, we're going to lock out our knees, and we're just going to barely unlock them. And if you just keep them locked, having them locked out is better than having them too bent. So we're just going to lock them out, unbend them. From here, we're going to push this butt back. Our chest comes down. Our eyes are going to come out over the golf ball, or our eyes are maybe 1 inch outside the golf ball. They just can't be inside the golf ball. From here, we're going to bump our left hip to the left. Also, as you're setting up, this is going to be obviously underneath your left armpit. And you want this putter to feel like it's up on the toe slightly. You don't want your hands low. You want to feel like your hands are high. So this barely sits up on the toe, so the heel is up off the ground just slightly. So with your hands high, you're going to pinch your both thumbs into the insides of the first knuckle of each index finger. Your left hand's going to be on top, your right hand's going to be underneath. We want to get this left hand on top so it helps that left shoulder stay forward and this right hand underneath. So what we're going to do is, here's the top of my putter. I'm going to pinch this left thumb in here and I'm going to get this kind of pistol grip, like I'm shooting a gun. And I'm going to get my left index finger not on top, not all the way on top, and I'm going to come down on the grip a little bit. I'll explain that. But not this index finger isn't all the way on top, but it's just on this front edge, this front left edge of this grip, and then this right hand comes in underneath. I'm going to overlap this first pinky, and this right thumb is going to be down the right side of this grip. So I'm gonna have my right hand underneath, my left hand more on top. And then you also wanna make sure that this is in the lifeline of your left hand. You don't want to be holding this in the fingertips of your left hand. You want to try to lock up your wrists by holding this more in the lifeline. So this lifeline kind of fits a little bit on top of the putter. So you've got this left index finger down the top left edge of the putter. This right hand comes underneath. That left index finger is, that left thumb is pinched in. Right thumb is pinched in. And then we're going to right foot turned out about 2 or 3 degrees, lock out my knees, barely unlock them, left hip bumps to the left, hip rear end goes back, back, back. My eyes are over the golf ball or maybe 1 inch outside the golf ball. From here, I'm gonna slide my hands down. So my hands are about just over, not even with your kneecaps, but just above your kneecaps. You want your hands down enough so your chest comes down. So now your shoulders are turning on the vertical plane. That pulls your hands back, straight through, and that helps the putter head go straight back, straight through. So when we're practicing, you want to just go back about 6 inches, and we're going to close this putter face slightly. You're going to get this teacher pointer to point 1 degree to the left, and then as you pull through, you're going to hold the finish so the teacher pointer is square right down the line of your putter. So you're gonna go back about 6 inches, close it slightly 1 degree, pull through, and then hold it square. The reason we're closing it slightly in the backstroke is because our hands are still, even though our hands are high, our hands are inside the putter head, and the putter head has weight. And when your hands are accelerating through impact, through the putt, because the hands are inside the putter head, it tends to open up the putter face. So we want to just make sure that the putter face is either perfectly square or 1 degree closed on the backstroke, and then pull through. So now we're going to take a look at what it looks like from face on. Okay, so from face on, we're going to bring a golf ball in here, and here's what the setup and the practice session looks like from face on. I'm putting the ball right there where and I'll show you from overhead the ball placement. So we've got about maybe 13, maybe no more than 14 inches. So anywhere from 12 to 14 inches, depending on how big the person is. I've got this ball played just a couple inches off the inside of my left ankle. I've got my left foot perpendicular to my toe line. I'm gonna have my right foot turned out about 2 or 3 degrees. I'm gonna lock out my knees. I'm gonna barely unlock them. Push my left hip to the left, a couple inches. As you can see, I've got about 60 to 70% of the weight on my left foot. I'm going to push my hips back, 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 back. My head comes out just maybe 1 inch outside the golf ball. And then from here, I'm going to get my hands up and then slightly forward. I'm going to get my pistol grip. I'm going to get on top, slide down. My right hand comes in underneath. And then I close my hips and my shoulders. And then we're going to just take it back about 6 inches. Close the putter face, so I'm going to get this teacher pointer to close slightly, 6 inches, pull through, and I'm going to hold it out here about 12 or 13 inches, and I'm looking at that teacher pointer, making sure it's right down my putter head path. So I go back about 6 inches. I'm going to close it 1 degree, pull through and hold. Get back to the red hash, go back about 6 inches, close it 1 degree, pull through, teacher pointer right down my line. I just don't want to get in the practice of looking up. Keep your head down. So we're going to go back 6 inches, close it 1 degree, pull through. You can see I keep my head down. I'm looking pretty much at where the ball was, but at the corner of my eye, I'm checking my teacher pointer to make sure that it's pointed right down the putter head path. One more thing, looking face on, this alignment stick is just barely touching my left side, which is okay, which is good. I want to keep it just barely touching my left side as I come back about 6 inches. As I pull through, I don't want the stick to be pushing on my left side. You want this stick to be staying a little bit more off your left side as you come through. Almost feel like if there was a wall here, your left hand is going to touch the wall, but not the putter head. You don't want the putter head touching the wall and not your hands. If anything, you want your hands, back of your left hand, touching that wall, but not quite the putter head. So you want, go back about 6 inches, close it 1 degree, pull through, and you can see that this stick stays off my left side. Okay, looking overhead, this is the way it should look overhead. Okay, so now you're going to see how we use the teacher pointer and the Pelz putter track, but we're also going to see how we use our cell phone to record what we're doing. We check it on your cell phone. Okay, so although you can kind of keep a close eye on your stroke, we're going to, okay, you can see that we get the toe lined up with the red hash off the toe, the heel lined up with the red hash off the heel. I've got this teacher pointed pointed right straight down my putter head path. I've got my left foot perpendicular to my toe line. My right foot is turned out 2 or 3 degrees. I've got my hands up high, and all we're going to do is we're going to take it back about 6 inches. We're going to close this putter face just 1 or 2 degrees, not a lot. Just get used to not opening the putter face. So we're just going to close it about, going to make sure that teacher pointer is right down your putter head path, and we're going to take it back about 6 inches, close it 1 degree, pull through, and then make sure that the teacher pointer is pointed right down your line. So it starts at the toe off the red hash, heel off the red hash, hands are tall, hands are high. We're going to go back about 6 inches, close it 1 degree, pull through and hold. 3, 2, 1. Then you can hit stop, and then now you can check and see if you're taking it straight back, straight through. And now you can see your stroke, and you can check it to see if you're going straight back, straight through, and if your teacher pointer and if your putter face is perfectly perpendicular to your putter head path. So if you're feeling like your hips aren't perfectly stable, you do want to have your left hip bump to the left, and you just want to keep it there throughout the whole stroke. You don't want to be having any weight shift whatsoever. So a great drill is to, as you're setting up, you're going to take this, you're going to go lock out your knees, unlock them, bump the left hip to the left, hips go back. You're going to take this club, you're going to kind of rest it here where you feel like if you moved your hips at all, this club would fall right off your left hip. And then you're going to hit some putts with this club right off your left hip. So I'm going to place it there. My left hip is bumped to the left. My left hand comes on top. Right hand comes in underneath. I'm going to go back about 6 inches. Close this putter face just 1 degree. Hold it. Teacher pointer right down my toe line, right down the putter head path. I hold it for 3, 2, 1. This stick is off my left side. Because if you start moving your body around, watch what happens with the club once I start moving my hips. So if you're moving your hips, now the club falls off your left hip. Great, great drill for keeping your hips perfectly still throughout the stroke. So another example of I'll move my hips on an incorrect stroke. Sit up, put this right off your left hip, and here's another incorrect stroke that makes the club fall off my left hip. So you can see the club fall. So if you keep your hips perfectly still, clubs doesn't fall. Great drill for keeping your hips perfectly still.